Hi guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Nagamso and today I am with my friend.
Hi, my name is Phindulo Prudence. I would actually have a lot of P's. It's Phindulo Prudence Michelle, and I currently reside in Joburg. I'm about to turn 25 years old, and I actually met Nagamso at UJ. She was a year ahead of me when we were doing Become Accounting, and we actually worked together at Pickett. Remember our first job as cashiers?
Our very first job as students. Oh my gosh.
We've actually been hustling when we were still students. We were actually working as cashiers.
Yeah.
You know, for that little extra money, and it actually helped us. Look where we are today.
Look at where we are.
Growing up.
Sure.
Thank you for inviting me to your channel. I'm
Happy
really
to have
grateful.
you.
Remember, guys, to like, subscribe, and comment too.
You've got it. So today, guys, we are talking basically about waiting upon God, and we'll be sharing our experience as to how has a waiting upon God been to us, and we'll try and be as transparent as we can because the aim is to help somebody who's currently feeling like waiting on God is such a difficult thing to do. So we'll be sharing our experiences in this channel. You know how I do it. And yeah, before we go any further, what does waiting upon God mean?
Sure. Wow, what a question. What I can say about it is when you are in waiting is basically waiting.
Yeah.
You're waiting for anything.
Yeah.
But now when you have to wait upon God, it's when you know that you're basically waiting for something that, for me, I really believe that you're waiting upon something that you get or you can get on your own. That specific thing, if you want money, you can go get this money, but at this point you realize that you are no longer like everybody else. You've been saved. Right now you need to wait upon God. Or maybe God has said something to you, and you really also want this specific thing. But you can either go get it on your own, or you can wait until God gives it to you, because God can provide in so many ways. So it's when you literally have to wait, the normal waiting that you do. But this time around, you're not waiting for anyone else. You're just waiting for God to tell you to move, or for God to actually provide this thing. And what I like about it is that you will know when it's God that provided it, because you won't have to go and try. You won't have to come up with your own ways on how to get this specific thing, on how to reach this destination that you want. But you will know that God Himself is the one that actually provided for you. So that is what waiting on God means for me. What does it mean for you?
Wow. For me, waiting is basically, you've touched on a very important element of waiting. Is just like we wait for everything in this world. Waiting. You wait to be called after an interview. You wait to get your job. You wait for many things, but waiting upon God, I think it's basically, you know that you're waiting on God, right? When you're waiting on this person, and the time as to when you are going to get what you're waiting for is really not determined.
You're not even sure when you're going to get the specific
You don't know. And I believe that that's what makes waiting upon God a bit different from waiting on other things. Think of waiting for a doctor as appointment. If you've made an appointment with a doctor, you know that it's next week.
And you even know that at that specific time I'm going to see a doctor. But right now you know that you're waiting for God from job. I mean, you're waiting for God to provide a job for you.
Exactly.
You don't know when you're going to receive a call or from you and those things. So that's what it also differs as to waiting upon the specific things and also specific things, and waiting upon God.
True. Makes it difficult. I mean, you spoke of knowing exactly when it is God who is giving you this. How do you know?
For me, it's firstly you cannot wait upon God if you're not saved.
Okay.
So you must be saved. You must really know who God is in your life for you to be able to say that
wait on Him.
I'm waiting on God. And the one thing that for me, how I know that God actually provided and it was not myself, is when I did not even try anything to get to this specific thing. But I sat and trusted that God will indeed provide this thing for me. I do not have to do anything to try, it's like a process. I'm waiting on God. Yes, you continue praying, you continue worshiping,
Sure.
you continue with your life.
Yeah.
But you don't. If maybe you're looking for a job, I'm not saying that you must not apply. Yes,
I was actually
continue
coming
applying.
there. I was actually
When you're
coming
looking for
there.
it, I'm not saying that you not apply.
Yeah.
But you continue applying and trust that God will provide the job for you. Because
True.
just because it's a nice title and it gives you a lot of money does not mean that it's the position for you. When you wait upon God, sometimes that which you're waiting upon God doesn't look so, it's not so appealing to you. It does not even appetize you. Sometimes you have to go to you have to go work at I'll give an example with workplaces. Or even at school. Maybe you want to go study at UJ, but you said, I want you to go study at Univen. So you see the difference. You have to go it's either Univen or UJ. You want Univen, but you want UJ, but he wants you at UJ. There's something that is there for you at Univen. But now, when you have to wait upon God, it's when you. For me, I don't do anything. I don't.
There's no
temper.
effort that you put.
Yes, you don't temper with the process. You don't try and call and find space at UJ. If you're rejected, you just go straight to Univen. Even though you don't understand why you have to go to Univen, So that is waiting upon God.
Speaking of waiting and not putting an effort, I think I agree a lot with you. Because a lot of things that really came from God, for me, I didn't have to put so much effort to get them. It was like all the things, like I'm recalling at how I got my job, like things happened and I didn't understand. Wait, guys, like I didn't know any person, but it just happened, and for me,
they fell into place.
Things just fell into place, true. And when you didn't have to do anything, that it's God who did it.
You will know that God is the one that did it for you. You will know. Like for me, if I can share what I'm going through right now in my life, I was at a position where I was working. I was currently a manager.
Yeah.
And I literally, I was told by my pastor, somebody that I'm very close to, and we pray together and everything. And he said to me, God said something about you. I'm like, okay, interesting. You know when they say to you, God said something about you. For me,
all
I'm like,
want to know. Wait, come with it.
Am I going to get a car? Am I going to get a house? Like, what is it, God? He said, actually, God said you must allow the door to close from where you're working.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, wow, okay. First, when I started working in 2018, I really wanted to move from that company, the previous one. I moved, now I got this job, God, I'm so excited. I mean, the opportunity that I was given in that company, it's really out of this world. For me, I was really grateful for what, being at my age and still having to be responsible for so many things. It was not, at some point it was a lot of things, but I actually look at it from the other way that, oh my God, I'm learning a lot of things. And now God is saying that you need to allow the door of this place to close. What? And I'm like, what does that mean? Am I going to get fired? Is the company going to close? And he was like, no. But you literally have to let go of the handle so that the door can close. Because God has another door for you that has to open for you.
And it will not open until you allow this one to close. Wow.
And if I can tell you, I resigned in it actually took. I remember I even told my boss last year, December or November. I told him that I'm going to resign, and he thought I was joking. I didn't. I resigned on the 10th of February 2020 this year. I resigned, but I only left end of May. And throughout this process, from the day that I sent my resignation letter until May, for me, I never had peace. It was each and every sermon that I listened to, everything that I had, it was let go, let go, let go. It was, I could listen to different sermons. I could listen to my pastor at church. I could listen to TDJX, Sarah
and it would
Jakes.
be the same message.
The one thing that I would always get is you need to let go. And until I actually told myself that, okay, now you must let go. I never had peace. And the other day they called me and said, do you need to come and do a handover? And I was like, instead of feeling like, what? Is my job ending? I was like, wow.
Tell me about that peace. Tell me about that peace.
I know I'm unemployed, but I have this peace within me. You know when the Bible says he gives peace that surpasses human understanding? You are at peace with being unemployed.
And there's nothing that is actually in place. Like you are in need. You don't have a job, but there's so much
There's
peace.
so much peace within you.
People don't understand that kind of peace.
I mean, people would always ask me, how did you do that? Like, who leaves a job? Like, I mean, people at work would ask me,
Yeah.
people would, I remember when people had that I was leaving. Remember, it was actually, it's some time. From February until end of May.
Yeah.
When people had that Phindulo, they call me Phindulo at work.
Yeah.
Phindulo is leaving. People couldn't believe it. People would text me. I mean, I remember most of my colleagues texted that, are you okay? What happened? And it's funny that we didn't fight. Nothing happened. Like we didn't have any argument or any dispute.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I just said, I need to leave. But one thing I wished one thing that I wished could have happened for me at some point I felt like I wish I had sent the letter and actually stood by it.
Immediately.
Yeah. There was something that I felt that I wish I could have just resigned and by month end or after serving my notice period I should have just left. But I remember the other day I was praying and I'm like, God, I'm sorry for delaying. And he said to me, some delays are ordained. And I'm
Wow. Some delays are ordained.
So I'm like,
that was deep right there. Now tell me, as you received this message from God that you need to let this, did you have anything promising on the other side? Maybe any job interview that you have went to?
Nothing. And I mean, even at
Nothing.
this point, I still don't have anything. But I, wow. You know when you try to say something and then the Holy Spirit just say something to you.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking that when you're asking me, did you have anything? No, I didn't have anything. I still don't have anything promising. I mean, I haven't even received a call to say that there's this opportunity or that we want to interview or something like that. But through the process, I'm actually realizing that each and every day it comes with so many opportunities. Opportunities to exit the waiting process.
Okay.
I mean, when you wait upon God, you wait and you're only dependable on God. Your rent, you're depending on God.
Yeah.
Food, you're depending on God. So many things. You need to depend on God that God is going to provide for you.
Yeah.
That at the end of the month, I'll be able to pay my rent without making any other alternatives. You know, without going out your way.
Taking shortcuts to get there.
So throughout the process, I've realized that there's so many opportunities that are arising. Like, I would think of people that I can call
and they'll
actually provide for me. But in the process of them providing, I will have to do something that is out of the way to get it. I would think, like,
how do you then avoid? How do you say no to such?
You remind yourself that I'm actually waiting on God. Nobody else will save me from this. You know, there's something. When you wait upon God, it's only His grace that will sustain you in the waiting period. You cannot wait upon God and expect people to save you or people to walk through the process with you. It has to be God Himself. He's the one that puts you in the waiting process. So He's the one that must sustain you. So if you are going to tamper with the process, you are delaying yourself to get to where He wants you to get. And unfortunately, it's a choice that we have to make each and every day. Each and every day when I wake up, like throughout this process, each and every day I need to remind myself that this is not worth it. I need to go back and wait. Sometimes sometimes I find it a bit difficult to pray that God, I'm waiting upon you and I'm just still here. God, I'm not used to waking up
and the Johns and the Jacobs and the Tabors, they come and present themselves each and every day. They offer you money for rent.
They are calling. Like even those people that were not talking to me, they are calling.
Wow.
And every day you need to say, no. I'm
said right now actually tells me that waiting upon God is not only a decision, but also a daily commitment. Even though opportunities present themselves to you, you still need to say, I choose to wait.
For me, what I've actually realized is that sometimes when you are waiting on God, it's so much better. For me, though it's a bit difficult at times to go back to the Word and actually try strengthen. That's where you get your strength from. By the way, sometimes when I really do not feel like going through it, I'm just like, God, I'm tired. When you go to get to a point where like,
get to that point?
I'd rather just play maybe a worship song or praise song, and somehow it's able to uplift my spirit. Then after that, when I can go back to the word, or I can then get the strength to continue. Because now it's waiting also requires commitment. You need to be committed to this waiting process, and you must be patient also.
True.
So yeah.
Sure. You remind me as well of this verse that is in Isaiah chapter 40, verse 30 to 31. It says that young people do fall, but those who trust upon the Lord and those who wait upon the Lord, they renew their strength and mount up like eagles. Which really tells me that when we wait upon God, the strength to wait and the strength to sustain us, we receive it from God.
We receive it from God. Hence I'm saying, He who brought you into the waiting process is the only one that will sustain you. You cannot expect somebody to sustain you through something that they did not bring you into it. It's not going to work out. I think we need to remind ourselves when we are going through those tough times, how did we get there? Who brought us into this specific place? Let's look at home. When you're at home, let's say you're being raised by it's either a mother or whoever it is, but you're growing up at home. There's already a house, and each and every day there's food that is being provided to you. But you as a child, don't worry as to you don't go to your neighbor and ask for food, because you know that your mom is going to provide food at the end of the day, or either in the morning, afternoon, or late during the night. She's going to provide, or your dad is going to provide food for the house. So it has to be you somehow. I don't know how. Even when you're growing up, we know that those that gave birth to us, those that are looking after us, they're the ones that provide for us. You know, they brought us into this world. Even though we're made from God, knew us, and He ordained that. Okay, He knew that your mother, you're going to be bad. You are going to come out from this family. Though it's like that, even with our parents, you know that your mom is going to provide at home.
You don't worry about anything.
Why do we worry so much when we're waiting upon God? Why don't you go back to God and say, but He's the one that took me, or that led me into this process? Why don't you remember throughout the process that it's God that brought me to this thing? Then He can sustain me. Then I need to go back to Him every time.
You speak of God doesn't like you can always go to God even when you started not in the right way, and you can still go to God and say, God, okay, can you work this one out? God will not just throw His arms to you and be like, okay, you started it. No, because we know that through the story of Abraham, when He promised him that He is going to give him a son, he'll be the father of the nation. And during the period of waiting that we're speaking about in today's video, Abraham and his wife, they lost hope, and they decided to entertain the opportunity that presented itself.
These are the opportunities we were talking about earlier on, that throughout there will be opportunities.
Exactly.
Sarah is going to the husband and said, but why don't you sleep with my maid? And they did. They slept with the maid, and then Ishmael was born. But even though Ishmael was born, that did not stop Isaac from being birthed. It did not stop Sarah from giving birth to Isaac.
So, which then tells me that the promises of God always succeed.
Remember there's a song that says, the promise still stands. Great is your faithful. The promise still stands.
Always.
But then, what about me as Phindulo, who has been given a promise by God? What am I doing?
What
the
do you
promise
do?
Is still there.
And it then takes me to this question: what do you do while waiting? What do you do while waiting for the promise of God to come true?
I think that the one thing that you need to do, or the one thing that you need to sustain yourself, or how you need to wait in God, is each and every time you need to stay connected to the source.
Amen.
Not stay connected to Him, because He's the one that will guide you through the process. Because at times you need to go. Remember with Job, Job had to lose a lot of things, but he remained connected to Him. Even his wife said, "Why don't you just curse this God and die?" But because he knew,
disconnect to the source.
Do not disconnect. Because once you disconnect from Him, then that is when you are open to all these other opportunities. That is when you are able to say that, okay, whatever may come, then I'll just go with it.
True.
Now, do not
True.
disconnect from God.
True.
Like even the days that you felt like right now, God, I am tired. Do not disconnect from God.
I was also going to say that while waiting, feed your mind with the character of God. Because the more you feed your mind with the character of God, that's when you get to know and you get to trust Him even more.
But then, do we really know who God is in our lives?
Exactly.
Do you really know? And sometimes it's funny. I don't know if you say it's funny, but it really amazes me on how it's not as much as I think we like when so has been through something and God really showed Himself through your situation. But now when it comes to me, it's like, God, I don't think I'll be able to do it. But unfortunately, some of the things you will not be able to say, I saw God doing this to me, until you walk through it.
True.
I mean, today you can only say God is my redeemer when He has redeemed you.
You've seen Him redeem
You need to see Him and experience this thing in your
You'll
life.
never say God is a provider until you went through a period of being in need.
And He provided. And thinking of I always say for me, this year God has showed Himself in for me this year, at the beginning of the year, I had chosen some things for my life, and I just said, you know what, God, I'm tired of dating. I just want to do my own things, you know.
Okay.
But God came to me, and He just became love into my life. You know, He knew the plans that I had for my life.
Yeah.
I told Him that, God, I'm going to do this 1, 2, 3. I'm going to date this and this and this kind of people. But those are not people of my caliber.
Yeah.
And I knew that dating these people is just going to take me astray from God. Somehow I cannot date this kind of people and still be an intercessor church. I cannot date this kind of people and still I mean, even though we're saying that He forgives our sins, I mean, some of the things we just do them so intentionally that how do I go do something intentionally
and continue doing that?
No, today I'm going to lead intercession. Like sometimes we need to come to our senses that can we not do those things intentionally? But when He came to me, to my situation, came and saved me, and He just showered me with love, and He showed me so much love. He did not even try. He did not really condemn me for all those things. He showed Himself as this. He was just great love in my life, and for me, I knew that what I was going to do is not right. I had to change. So even when you did something, God is still there, and He can still save you, even in those situations. And today I can say that God is love because I saw Him.
True.
I saw Him becoming love in my life.
True. And you know, when you're talking about dating, for me, that is the area where I really struggled waiting upon God for. In that area, I have always trusted myself. I always knew what kind of husband I want. I was like, God, I trust you with my next meal. I trust you with my next job. I trust you with my future. I trust you with my next year's school fees. But with my husband, I don't think you know what I want. God, wait. You've proven yourself to be trustworthy in those areas, but I don't trust you in this one. And guess what happened? I kept on attracting wrong people after a wrong person, after a wrong person, after a wrong person, up until I sat down and God was like, Nangamso, you trusted me in this area, and in which area that you have trusted me in did I disappoint you? Which area have I failed you in that you have really depended on me with? And I was like, God, you've never, there was a point I resigned at work like you did with no plan B. But you provided, God. Why can't I trust you with this one area? And for me, that moment, that day, I was like, I am choosing to wait.
Don't you think that maybe when it comes to dating and waiting, or actually, I think maybe the way we grew up, we grew up in so many different churches. Taught it's the gospel. But we are taught so many things. In some churches, dating, they actually have like seminars for young people. Wherein they guide them throughout the dating process and everything. In some churches, they don't want them to date. So then how do you grow up to be a 25-year or 28-year woman who now wants to date, but then you've never had this thing at church.
You've
Sometimes
never
you feel
felt
like
comfortable doing
maybe
it.
if God doesn't want this thing, so it's also the way we grow up at home
That influences
it also
our decision
influences
and how we feel
how
about
we see
things.
things and how
True.
we approach God. I think it will actually be a good thing when when somebody gets saved.
Yeah.
That there are people that walk as much as you want to walk through each and everything with me, but at least try to be open and be so broad about who God is,
True.
not limited to some certain things
True.
in our life.
True.
Be able to know that, or be able to tell people that God can do anything in your life. He can save you when you are deep into sin.
Into sin.
Deep in the mud. He can still save
I
you.
think another thing that has killed us as Christians as well is knowing the things I can't do.
Yeah.
That really it causes people to condemn themselves. And instead of preaching who God is in your life, like the loving Father that He is, and the provider He is, the God that really shows love.
Yeah.
Instead of preaching Him as love, we preach Him as the person who hates sin, which is the fact.
Yeah, it is.
It is the fact. God hates sin. But couldn't we preach God as love so that we can feel free to go to Him and approach Him whenever? Even when we're failing to wait upon Him, we will be able to say, God, I am failing. I can't do this.
To be true to God.
So that we can freely go to this man because we know He's been preached as love. Why would we not go to a person who's loved? You understand? So I think, even such factors, they make us to be like, not to be so free.
To go to God about some specific things.
Yeah.
Like we want to be open to God about maybe our health, our status,
but not the
other
deep things
things
that are affecting our journey, our relationship with Him. The deep things, like real things.
We're not open about them.
We're so fake to God and to people and to ourselves.
How many seminars have you gone to when they actually speak about the real, or let me just say seminars, have you ever been to when they actually speak about the real things that happen?
Even the seminars, women seminars, where there's only women, they don't talk about real stuff. So I think it also failed with, from the foundation. The foundation. Growing up, we've been taught to be actors. Act as though everything is fine. Serve as though everything is fine. And the waiting has been overrated in our churches. It has been made as though it's something easy. Guys, it's not easy.
It's not.
Listen to me. It's not easy. It is not easy. In as much as I told you that I decided to wait, boo-boo, every day I meet some yummy guys out there. Yummy. Daddy, I know you're watching this, but hey, there are yummy guys there. I need to every day to say, okay, I've made this decision. And at times I come to God, instead of praying and say, God, you are worthy, you deserve all the best. I'm like, God, I get it's hard.
But how
it's
hard.
hard.
Able to actually go and say, God, you know what, I actually saw that guy.
It takes a relationship.
Yeah.
It takes a relationship between God and you. How close are you with God? How open are you? How free are you to God? Yeah. Understanding what He has done and why He did it for you, it makes you to be kind of close, understand that He loves you above anything. Yes, He hates sin. He may hate what you did, but He loves you. So understanding that God loves you, irregardless of what you did, it makes you to be free to go to God and be like, God, I saw this handsome man. He has everything. Do I continue to wait on you or what? So it really takes a relationship to kind of make this waiting thing easier and really see God strengthening you in this journey.
Yeah, it is. I think also at times we need to, when you are real in the waiting process, I think maybe it will become easier. When you are real.
So I think we'll cut this one where I just even put myself, like what you just saying, real.
When you are real in the
don't
process.
fake it.
Don't fake it. Like the same way that you fake it with friends, when you go to God, tell him that God, this is how I'm feeling. Like, and I know when you tell God that God, I'm disappointed, this you need to tell him that God,
be open, and
I'm disappointed.
he heals you. You know, when we become open, there's a verse actually in the word that says, "Stay away from sins that
That tangles you.
Woo!
That
Those are the
easily
sins.
tangles you.
Exactly. Those are the sins we think, it's too small. Having a crush, what? That's too small. I don't have to talk about that. God already knows it. Be open about such things.
Yeah.
It will help you, because the sin that you actually confessed loses power over you. It will not have power over you if you
the Bible is
confessed it.
saying that the sin that easily entangles you, it
Mm.
means that it's so easy for you to do those things. Because there are some things like lying. You'll be like, lying is such a small thing.
And
I think we think
don't
sexual
for confessing.
immorality it's this huge thing. But lying, it's just a small thing, but it easily
entangles. True. And in our closing, guys, it's been a long video. My goodness, I think I'm still enjoying it. What advice do you have for a person who has been waiting on God and sees nothing is happening? What would you say to that person?
For me, I would say it's remember who actually put you into this waiting process.
Yeah.
It is God. So go back to Him and tell Him exactly how you feel. Go back to Him and tell Him, and though He knows how you're feeling, though He knows everything that is happening, but go back to Him. You know, when you speak, it also heals. Speaking it's also healing on its own. Go to Him and tell Him, oh Father, I'm tired, or I'm disappointed, or however you're feeling. Tell Him exactly how you feel, and go back to the Word also. Get a scripture way in. If maybe sometimes people will say, just go open the Bible like this, you get a relevant scripture. I do that sometimes, and I do get a relevant scripture. And if you don't get it, go to Google. Search scriptures that speak about healing. Like you don't even if you don't, I don't know the Bible. Like I don't know Genesis to Revelation. I don't know the entire verse. So sometimes I need.
But you know who God is.
I know who God is. I know who God is. So get a scripture. Either you got it from googling. At the end of the day, you got a scripture to go back and say that okay, this is a scripture that is relevant to what I'm going through, or a scripture that will uplift my spirit. Listen to worship songs. Listen to, because that which you listen to is building up something in you. Imagine when you're listening to "Worthy is Your Name," "Worthy is Your Name." You end up also saying "Worthy is Your Name," and somehow it builds up your spirit, and you are able to continue this waiting, because it's really not easy. But each and every day it's a struggle. Each and every day you need to fight. You need to choose that either you're going to wait or you're going to choose something else.
Which is
that's what I would say.
Awesome.
The shortcut.
Well, for me, I would say keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
You know, if you are, can I talk to people who are waiting for their jobs right now? I think that period of being that period of waiting for a job is the most depressing period ever, because you're seeing your age group working, they are succeeding, and they are buying cars. At the age of 25, you were thinking, my life, I should be settled.
By this time, I thought my life into a 25 would be like, I thought I was gonna be married.
Yes.
I'm having a house. I'd have a car.
Do you understand?
But look at me today. We're shooting a video on how to wait on God.
You understand? So I would say keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
It's a pity now that we are on lockdown, but I love those ladies at church who just wake up and go clean church. They are not nursing their current situation, but they are serving God during their period. There is a saying that says, glorify God with your situation. Use your situation to glorify God. You're waiting, let it glorify God one way or the other. So don't just sit there and be like, I'm waiting on God. Do something during this period, and you will not even feel how long it has been. People will be saying, how long have you, why are you not? Keeping yourself busy with the things of the Lord gives you peace that surpasses human understanding that you were talking about. You get this peace, and they'll be like, where are you working? And you'll be like, no, I'm not working. But you're at peace. That's what God does when you take care of His things while you're waiting. So I would say use the spirit in Dasekaya to wait upon God and to keep yourself busy so that you will not be depressed. And that is all that we had for you on this video. It has been nice I wish we can continue talking because that's what I do love. But we have to say goodbye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hope that you enjoyed it. See you
Wait,
next
Do
time.
not forget to like, comment, and
You
subscribe.
got it.